In a world full of sounds, hearing the right calls can make all the difference for an animal. Using only their ears, finding a friend underwater kilometers away, or listening in to the ultrasonic conversations of their prey. Animals' ears let them experience the world from far beyond what their eyes can see. One of the most complex sensory organs in nature is the ear. Fish were the first vertebrates to evolve ears. They didn't need external ears because sound waves in the water were absorbed by their bones and transmitted to their inner ear. 375 million years ago, when the first four-legged creatures emerged from the water, they had a hard time hearing over land. It would take 100 million years for them to fully develop a more functional ear. Amphibians, the first land-dwelling animals, were also the first species to evolve an organ to hear vibrations in the air. Frog ears developed right behind the eye. It's called the tympanum, and it's similar to an eardrum. It connects to the inner ear. When sound waves hit the tympanum, the vibrations travel through a thin bone to the inner ear, vibrating the fluid-filled cochlea. Inside the cochlea, microscopic hairs pick up the vibrations in the fluid and send electrical pulses to the brain. It can vary greatly in size and helps to tell male and female frogs apart. Male frogs have a larger tympanum. Out by the pond, a frog tries to woo potential mates. Females can hear him from hundreds of meters away, but they'll only respond to the right call. A large tympanum is a real advantage for a male. It helps him pick up the sweet, delicate chirps of females ready for mating. And the riveting song commences as each male in the pond tries to out-croak each other for a chance to mate with a female. And she's listening for the deepest, loudest vibration, an indicator of a big, healthy male. Hundreds of millions of years after amphibians evolved the first land-based ears, a quiet hunter turned those rudimentary sensory organs into one of the most exquisitely engineered hunting tools in the animal kingdom. Big eyes, round faces, that unmistakable silhouette, and of course, the hoot, classic owl. They are an iconic mood setter. But their distinctive looks have a purpose. They contribute to some of the best hearing in the animal kingdom. In the middle of the night, an owl family is perched high up in a tree. The owl hears a mouse rustling on the ground below. In complete silence, it takes off and nabs it with ease. Now her babies have dinner. They hunt at night. Owls rely on their ears far more than their eyes. Their entire anatomy is designed to pick up even the slightest sounds. It all starts with the round face. Aside from making them look unmistakably owlish, these dish-shaped faces have a very important purpose. When a mouse rustles in a field, and that sound travels up to the owl. This face is the first point of contact. It's shaped like a parabolic dish, channeling sound in towards its ears with superb efficiency. Once past the parabolic face, the sound passes through tiny guard feathers at the entrances of the ears, further clarifying it. So, owl advantage number 1? They hear the cleanest and most crystal clear version of sound amongst birds of prey. That's not all. Most animals' ears are placed symmetrically on the head, meaning their ability to locate the source of a sound is limited. They know if a sound is coming from the left or the right, but not up or down. An owl's ears are asymmetrical. This means one ear is placed higher than the other on the owl's head. So when they hear a sound, they can pinpoint its location by determining whether the source is above or below them. Owl advantage number 2, perfect hearing directionality. But one of the coolest things about these birds of prey is their subtle approach. They fly in stealth mode. Their loosely feathered chests and diffuse wing feathers make almost no sound while in flight, so owls can keep listening while in motion. Owl advantage number 3, silent flight. With ears like that, owls don't really need good eyesight, but they have it anyway. Their eyes are fixed in one spot, meaning they have to move their whole head to look in different directions. Lucky for them, they can twist their heads 270 degrees. Once they're close enough to lock onto the mouse visually, it's all done but the crying. Sharp talons, some of the strongest in the world in relation to size, apply 400 pounds of force per square inch on the mouse. Owls. A little spooky, a little cute. They've got looks to kill. And with this remarkable sense of hearing, they've got the skills to kill. Sound travels differently in air and in water. It actually moves faster under the waves. Throw in reduced visibility, and sound becomes even more important in the undersea world. Whales. The largest of them can grow to almost 30 meters long and weigh 150,000 kilograms. They're the biggest animals on Earth. In the vast ocean, they can navigate easily, find food, mates, and keep track of their calves. They do it all with their acute sense of hearing. Whales dive to depths of more than 3 kilometers. But after 200 meters, sunlight all but disappears, so sight is not much use. In this environment, the best way to keep track of each other is sound. Not a problem for whales. Marine mammals evolved from land-dwelling ancestors whose ears were adapted to hearing vibrations in the air. But after millions of years of evolution, their ears have not only adapted to work best underwater, but also to give whales some of the most sensitive hearing in the animal kingdom. There are about 80 species of whales, and they fall into 2 categories: baleen and toothed whales. Humpbacks, gray whales, fin whales, and the largest living creatures on Earth, blue whales, are all baleen whales. They feed using a mouth filter, and essentially suck in the fish and krill. Baleen whales are solitary, so in order to find each other, they use low-frequency calls for long-distance communication. Toothed whales, such as sperm whales, orcas, and dolphins, are smaller. They're generally very social and live in pods. Since they are in closer proximity to each other, high-frequency calls are their method of communication. This has led to the evolution of two distinct hearing systems. Low-frequency hearing for baleen whales and high-frequency hearing for toothed whales. Baleen whales' low-frequency mating calls travel 4 times faster than sound travels on air and can be carried for hundreds of kilometers in the ocean. When low-frequency sound waves hit a baleen whale's body, they make its skull vibrate in a process called bone conduction. These vibrations then stimulate the inner ears. To tell the direction the sound is coming from, baleen whales have evolved free-floating inner ears. Underwater, sound makes the entire skull resonate. But because the ears are separate from the skull, they pick up sounds independently of each other. By comparing the sounds in both ears, the whales can determine the direction the sound came from. Toothed whales, on the other hand, use fast, high-pitched clicks and whistles in a vast range of frequencies. One of these species, the beluga whale, has the best hearing amongst all toothed whales. These pale beauties live in colder climates, where daylight is scarce. Hearing and sound production is a huge part of their lives. They need it to forage and communicate with other members of their pod. They're very social creatures, after all. For the beluga whale, sound comes in through the fatty tissue in their jaw. The pan bone, a thin bony area at the back of the lower jaw, acts as an acoustic window and takes the sound to the fluid-filled inner ear. The sound is then interpreted by the brain. But the beluga whale's most spectacular adaptation has to do with their echolocation abilities. It's a super sense that many whales have in common. Here, a beluga whale is separated from its pod. He sends out a series of clicks called a click train and waits for the echoes to hit something and return. Two friends hear the clicks and start to swim towards him. Reunited, they send out clicks to the big group that swam ahead. Soon, they'll all be together again with their pod. When the blue whale, the largest living creature on Earth, echolocates, it emits sound waves that are 100 million times louder than a Boeing 747. It's so loud that it has to disconnect its ears. Otherwise, they'd be destroyed. Researchers have found that millions of years of evolution are being undone due to the recent noise pollution in the ocean. Blue whales had a hearing range of 1,600 kilometers in the 1940s. This has now dropped to only 160 kilometers today. Whales have adapted their mammalian ear to life underwater. It helps them navigate and communicate over long distances. However, low-frequency communication is not exclusive to marine mammals. Giraffes, at almost 6 meters tall. These gentle giants are the tallest land animals by a long shot. Their long necks, little horns, and beautiful patterns make them a treat for the eyes. But only the eyes, because giraffes never seem to make a peep. They are among the tallest in the animal kingdom, and they also seem to be among the quietest. Giraffes actually make noise all the time, but the calls they make are for their ears only. Giraffes communicate by humming, hissing, and coughing. To humans, these sounds are barely perceivable, if at all. Giraffes live on vast grasslands, where low-frequency sound is actually the most effective form of long-distance communication. It's called infrasonic communication. Like in water, low-frequency sounds dissipate more slowly than high-frequency sounds, meaning they can travel much farther. Giraffes depend on this to survive. They mostly live in social groups called towers, with females and young giraffes making up the largest groups. Infrasounds and subtle communications keep the herd safe. Like most mammals, young giraffes have a wild side. When a young giraffe wanders off, they endanger themselves and the herd, so they're reprimanded with a mother's sharp hiss. Bad giraffe. Now that's cracking the whip, infrasonic style. Giraffe moms also form nursery groups where they work together. Some will eat, while others tend to the young. Kind of like a play date. If any of them feels threatened, or if they want to ward off others, they make a low growling or hissing sound. This also helps alert the group to danger. As the young males in the group grow up and become too much of a handful, they're kicked out. These young males will eventually find each other and form a group called a bachelor herd. This is the most popular contest: necking. Two competing males will bash their necks together until one male submits. It's nonverbal communication, the giraffe's version of an arm wrestle. Once mature enough, single males will leave the bachelor herd to live a life of solitude until mating season, when they start to feel like they could use a little company. If they find a herd of females, their quiet courtship begins. A little coughing breaks the ice. It ain't fancy, but it works. If the female likes what she hears, she'll invite him to partake in a kinder, gentler form of necking. If there are multiple males around a herd of females, the biggest and strongest doesn't just get the girl, he gets all the girls. Some guys have all the luck. This part of giraffe life is simple. But the internal mechanisms that make these infrasonic vocalizations are anything but. Moving air up through those long necks is no easy task. Giraffes often throw their head or make their neck shiver while making noises. This is how they are able to move the large volumes of air required to make infrasonic sounds. Giraffes. They may be one of the most photogenic animals of all time, but it doesn't go to their heads. Low-frequency sounds, like those baleen whales and giraffes use to communicate, travel long distances over water or land. But high-frequency sounds have a purpose too. This is a hunter with one of the largest hearing ranges of any carnivore, with ears that can find and stalk prey without detection. But this ferocious predator is a house cat. These beloved pets are some of the most streamlined predators on the planet. Cats commonly hunt rodents like mice, rats, and birds. Because their prey emits sounds at very high frequencies, cats had to evolve to detect those squeaks and chirps as well. Cats hear up to 78 kilohertz, which is much better than humans who can only detect sound up to 20 kilohertz. Anything above the threshold of what humans can perceive is known as ultrasonic sound. There's a whole world of these high-frequency sounds that cats and their prey can hear, but humans cannot. To test cats' reaction to ultrasonic sound, an experiment was conducted. A speaker was placed on a table at the cat's ear level. The speaker started with sounds lower than 20 kilohertz that humans can hear. As the noises got higher and crossed into the realm of ultrasonic sound, the cats had a very strong reaction to the noises. To humans, it's as if the cats are reacting to an imperceptible force. Among terrestrial mammals, the ability to hear high frequency usually comes at the cost of low frequency hearing. However, cats have extended their hearing range into the high category without sacrificing the low. Beyond having a huge range of hearing, cats are remarkably good at finding the source of a sound. They can rotate their outer ear flaps 180 degrees and swivel around like mini satellite dishes in any direction a sound is detected. A cat's ability to pinpoint a sound is actually 3 times better than a mouse's. A subtle, soft noise like rubbing a thumb and forefinger together is barely audible to humans. But to a cat or a mouse, it comes through loud and clear as an ultrasonic scratchy sound. For these predators and their prey, their game of cat and mouse is an evolutionary arms race. Hearing the right calls, cats and mice try to outcompete each other in order to gain the title of having some of the best hearing in the animal kingdom.